As we've already learned, to combine like terms, there are two things. They must have the same pronumeral, so the same base. So that's, for example, we could say x. And they've got to have the same power or index as well. So you can combine x and x because there's no power in this one, same pronumeral, that's 2x. You can combine y to the power of 4 and y to the power of 4 because they both have the same base and they both have the same power. So that is 2 lots of y to the power of 4. However, you cannot combine x, y cubed and x, y squared. The first term fits, x, same base, same power. Second term does not. Same base or the pronumeral, but a completely different power up here. So these terms cannot be combined. What we're going to introduce in this video is not just combining like terms correctly that have powers or might have two pronumerals in them, but also ones that might have positive and negative numbers, so addition and subtraction. One important thing to remember is this. If you've got two positive numbers, you'll end up with a positive number. If you've got a positive and a negative, that results in a negative. If you have a negative and a positive, that results in a negative as well. If you have two negatives, that results in a positive. So in other words, same sign gives you a positive, different sign, so a plus and a minus together gives you a negative. Let's look at the first equation. First, we want to get all the like terms together. We can see that every term in this expression has x as a pronumeral, same base, there's no power, so then therefore we can combine them all. So 8x plus another x is equal to, I'm going to do this step by step, is 9x plus another 12x. So that is equal to 21x. Happy for you in these questions to add them all together at once. 8 and 12, 20 plus another x is 1. Now looking at this second problem, let's try and get like terms together first. 5a squared. So let's see if there's any a squareds there that we can have together. There's a 2a squared. Those terms are like. Let's get them together first. So I'm not actually adding them yet. I'm just putting them next to each other to rearrange the equation. Next part, there's a b, no power. Are there any other b's? There's 6 b's over here. So let's put those two next to each other. Last term left we have is 3a. There is nothing that is the same as 3a. Yes, there are other a's, but they're not like because this one has no power. The other ones have a power of 2 or an index of 2. Now we can go and combine the like terms to get the correct answer. 5a squared plus 2a squared will give us 7a squared. b plus 6b gives us 7b, and we're left with 3a on its own. So that is this term written simplified. The next equations are examples of where you need to often be careful of negative numbers. You can see here that there are some takeaway signs. We need to get out of the habit of thinking of that as takeaway and actually think of that as making a number a negative number. So it's making this term here negative 8y. It's not take away 8y. Okay, that's because if we only had the first part of the equation, 9x take 8y, we sort of can't combine or take those away anyway. So this is where it's really important to get the like terms together. So 9x, are there any other ones that have x with no power? There is. You might say 3x here. The habit would be to say 3x, or the mistake you could make is say 3x, but we need to think of the sign that's in front of it. Negative 3x. That is really important. 9x, negative 3x, which now then is going to turn away in a takeaway equation. Our other two terms, we have 8y here, but thinking about what's in front of it, it is negative 8y, so that negative sign is extremely important. Are there any other terms that are like to this? Positive 4y at the back. So negative 8y and positive 4y are like. Now we can go and complete the equation. 9x take 3x is equal to 6x. This next one we need to be really careful again, because it's not 8y plus 4y here. It is negative 8y plus 4y. Negative 8y, so we're in the negative. Negative 8 plus 4, that's increasing in size, so it's getting closer to 0. That's going to be equal to negative 4y. The common mistake to make with this one is to have 8y and add 4y to it, and so that's 12y, and then it ends up in take away 12y when that's not correct. Because it's negative 8, we are at negative 8 on the number line, and then we are adding 4y to it. 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to put us at negative 4y. Here we have another extensive equation, so it's important to group the like terms first. Look at the first one, 6p squared m. Are there any like terms? So we're looking for ones that have a p squared and an m without a power. You can see in this one, the trick is the terms have been reversed, but it still has an m on its own, like this one did, and it still has a p squared, like this one did. Doesn't matter which way you write it. I would then now write them so that they're exactly the same. So let's write them both as 6mp squared. So that's this term here. And I'll write the other one the same, plus 5mp squared. The only thing I've done there, I have preference to writing them in alphabetical order, but it doesn't actually matter. Next term along is negative 3p. Are there any with the pronumeral p with no power? There is. There's a negative 4p. So yet again, being really careful with the negatives. Negative 3p, negative 4p. Last term, we haven't spoken too much about this, but numbers, as we know, can be combined. So they're always like terms. Negative 5 and positive 6. Now we can go about combining these like terms to get the answer. So 6 lots of mp squared plus 5 lots of mp squared is going to give us 6 plus 5 is 11 mp squared. Next one, be really careful. Negative 3p, take another 4p. So that's essentially our little number line. We're at negative 3 and we're taking away another 4. So we're getting further into the negatives. So negative 3 take away 4p is going to be equal to negative 7p. Same thing with the last one, being really careful with negatives. We're at negative 5. We add on 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gets us to 0. One more gets us into the positive. So that's negative 5 plus 6 is equal to 1. So that is our expression simplified. Remember, be careful of the powers. Be careful of ones that might have 2 pronumerals or 2 letters in them. And be really super careful with your negative and positive numbers.